Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. Sitting on the deck of a cruise boat, a luxury cruise boat, I think it would be much appropriate to stop and be aware and see what the right approach is to somebody who has money and has wealth, how he could serve the Eibishter the best way. But there's a famous story in the Gemara, and it's in the Gemara Tainis and Gemara Ksubas, a very famous story about a very wealthy man called Macademian Bengurion. And the emphasis, originally his name was not even called Macademian, his name was Buni, but because of a story that happened, the name was changed. This Macademian Bengurion was a very, very wealthy man. How wealthy? The Gemara says in Ksubas, or in Avos Rav Nosson, that his daughter had so much money that when her bed was covered with sheets, blankets that were worth 12,000 dinarim. Another Girs of the Gemara Ksuba says that when his daughter got married and they wrote the Ksuba for the daughter, the Lashon and the Ksuba, how much money she was bringing into the marriage was Elef Alfred Dinarei Zav. She, as a youngster, as a newlywed, had already in her bank account thousands and thousands of golden coins. So we're talking about a very wealthy man. And the Gemara in Gittin goes on to say the greatness of this Macademian Bengurion, that him together with two other people were able to support Klal Yisrael as they were being under the oppression of the Romans for many, many, many years, up to 20 years. And the Gemara says tremendous things of how their Maisa Hatzdaka, his Maisa Hatzdaka was done. But what Macademian Bengurion is most famous for is a story that's mentioned in Gemara Avodah Zarah and Gemara Tainis, and this is the story I want to share with you. The Gemara says, V'lama nikra shmoi Macademian. Why is he called Macademian Bengurion? Lefi mipnei sheniknem aloichama bavure, because he had the merit that the sun was held back, came out earlier in his honor. The sun was told to stay. The day was extended. The sunlight was extended in his behalf. What was the story? Once it was the season when the Yidden had to go to your Eila Regel Yerushalayim, and some Mefarshim say it was the Yom Tov Sukkos. They had no water to drink, and obviously walking up to Yerushalayim and being Mekayim Eila Regel would be make the Yidden very thirsty. They need water. And now the Mefarshim say at this point in time he already lost a lot of his money, and that's why he couldn't produce what he's looking to help the Yidden. Or others say, as rich as a person may be, there's not everything he could do. He needs water. You could have millions of dollars in the bank. You still have to have the favors from people who are able to help them. So that's a lesson in life. The Ben Yoda says the lesson in life is that as rich as you are, you have to have the B'tachon Le'Eibishter. So he went to a certain general, and he says, "Halveini shteim esrei ayonis mayim. Please let me give me a halva of 12 wells of water, and mikan v'adyoin pleni, and I will pay you back the water at a certain time. And if I don't get you, if the water doesn't replenish at a certain time, I will give you shteim eser kikar kesef, 12 sacks of gold, a tremendous amount of money." And they set a date, and that was fine. So he supported the Eilei Legolim, and that was how compassionate, how much he's willing to help. And again, according to some Mefarshim, he wasn't even rich anymore, but he knew that this is the right thing to do. When the time came to pay up the bill, so the general or the government official asked for his money. Now, the Mefarshim here too say that he didn't want to right away start nudging him because he knew the power of prayer. So he wanted to make sure he gets the money. So he delayed it towards the middle of the day later. He was hacking him a cup in many ways before he had a chance to see the trouble and then start davening. But he comes to him and asks for his money. So he says, Macademian Bengurion says, Adayin shehutz b'yom. There's still time in the day. So the Sar started laughing. The Sar said, a whole year there was no rain. It's a year of a drought. And you think, punk, today, the day you have to pay me back, the water, it's going to replenish, there's going to be rain? So the Sar went to the Beis HaMerchatz and started, it was a happy day, this is going to be a successful business day. Macademian Bengurion realized the issue, he realized what's facing him, he went to the Beis HaMikdash. This Ativ Fa'amad B'tfilah, he put a talus around him and started davening, and he says, Ribono shel olam, Goli v'yodu l'fanecha, you know, Shaloi l'chvoidei asisi. I did not do this in my honor. And perhaps you could say the reason why he says this, because the Mefarshim, the Gemara says the reason what einish did Macademian Bengurion, why did he deserve this einish? That despite that he was originally very, very wealthy, he lost all of this, and now he's begging, he's praying for money. So the Gemara says that is because two reasons. Either whenever he gave money, he wanted honor, and the fact that he didn't do it for pure, genuine mitzvah, that was the punishment. Or, the Gemara says another reason, he did take a gift tzedakah, but he didn't give enough to his capabilities. A wealthy man like that could have given so much more. Anyways, here he's in the story, he needs money. He says to the Eibishter, you know that this time I didn't do it for honor. I didn't do it for any respect. I did it just for your covet, because our people are going to the Beis HaMikdash, and I want to help them. They should have oiling, the oilei regel should have mayim. So the clouds, after his tefillah, the clouds started becoming thickening up and dark, and it started raining, and the 12 wells became full of water. And he says to the Sar, now you owe me a little money, because you got more than you were supposed to. So the Sar says, too late. It all happened, the Shkia Sachama, the sun is setting, and the water, what came back is already my water. You still owe me because you passed the due date. So Macademian Bengurion went back into the Beis HaMikdash, again wrapped himself in the talus and started davening, and he says, Ribono shel olam, please do me another nes, and a nes that might even be greater than the first nes. What happened? A wind came, the clouds parted, and he saw the sun shining again. And in other words, the sun lasted for a longer day, so the Sar should be able to be answered that your payment came in the day, towards the end of the day, but in the day of when you're supposed to get paid. And Macademian Bengurion said to the Sar, Yaduani, now the Sar says in Macademian Bengurion, I know that Hashem did all this just for you. In other words, in the schar that a person goes Mesiras Nefesh to help another Yid, and in this case to help Klal Yisrael, despite the fact that he didn't have enough, the Eibishter will even change the Teva of Ma'aser Bereishis to give him what he needs.